have to go and take my driving test next Wednesday, so I will update you all on how that goes. And not much to say about it. That I went got my eyes checked on Monday. Everything was fine, so she signed the paper so I can go and get my driving test. I just, like I said, I do it for my mom because I want her to feel better about everything, because I would have been driving personally. For this week's Woo Child Wednesday, I wanted to pick this one because of the state of the country. It's an updated post. My a 36-year-old man wife, who was a 34-year-old female, fell into conspiracy theories and online hate groups. Is there any saving my marriage? You know, when people start, with the conspiracy theories, it can be kind of hard sometimes, especially if you care about them. It can be difficult to even listen to that because you don't want to hear that. But people go down a rabbit hole and they get involved in all this stuff, and it can be kind of difficult. So let's see. I'll try to keep this update short. I want to say thank you to everyone. What is this? Thank you to everyone who took the time to comment and message me. For those who didn't, here's the original post. I'm going to read the original post. The original post is, I have been married to my wife for 6 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter, and I really don't want a divorce. But I'm starting to feel my wife like I've run out of options. When we first met, my wife was a kind, brilliant, and outgoing person. Over the years, past few years, she's changed into someone in ways that really scare me. She's become very involved in online groups and conspiracy spaces and online hate groups, and now spends hours every day scrolling and arguing online. It's like she's living a different reality. She hasn't held a stable job in 3 years, and she'll take up part-time work but ends up quitting or getting fired after a few months. Meanwhile, I become the sole provider and have also taken on most of the parenting. Our daughter loves her mom, but my wife often is distracted or disengaged, and it breaks my heart to see that. Another issue is that she has become more racist over time. It started as an obsessive dislike of a certain celebrity, but it's turned into outright racist comments, particularly towards women of color. Oh my God. She's lost several relationships because of it. And even her family has started to distance themselves. They still check in on me and our daughter, but they have made it very clear that they don't know how to reach her anymore. I begged for her to try therapy. She actually did for a few months once. And for a little while, I saw a glimpse of the person that she used to be. But she quit and everything went back to the way it was. I'm emotionally exhausted and worried that about this, and I don't want her picking up these beliefs of their daughter. I don't want our daughter to pick up these beliefs or thinking that this level of disconnection is normal. That said, I'm also terrified of what a divorce might do to her. I've always believed in trying everything before walking away, and I don't want to feel like I gave up too soon. That's why I'm thinking about asking my wife to go to couples therapy. Maybe she'd be more open to it since it won't be just her. My question is, how do I even bring this up? Would it be wrong to tell her that I am considering divorce if she refuses? I don't want to sound like I don't want it to sound like divorce to sound like a threat. I just want her to understand how serious things have become. I love her and want to believe there's still a way forward, but I can't keep doing this by myself. If anyone has been in a similar situation with a partner who's fallen deep into conspiracies or become resistant to therapy, How did you approach it? I really want to try everything I can before making a painful decision. That is very sad. There's not a whole lot you can do. And please do not go to couples counseling for this. It's not a couple issue. Your issue is your wife. It's not a couple's issue. Y'all not having communication problems or things that affect both of you. It's just her behavior. She's turned into somebody else. She needs to go to therapy, not couples counseling to ease her into individual. I hate when couples do that. They'll come in and one partner just wants the other one to go to therapy themselves. I cannot address this kind of issue in a couple session. It will have to be an individual thing. It's not a couple problem. Now, is it sad? Absolutely. What to do? I have no idea because, she went to therapy before and it got better, but she stopped going. And so it was just a band-aid on an open wound, apparently. She went right back to it. If somebody believes differently than you do, then they believe that. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Especially something like being racist. You're raising your daughter, you don't want her to pick it up. And kids do pick up what they see their parents do. So it's very likely that she will just start doing stuff because she see her mom does it. And divorce isn't great for kids. I'm not, pro-divorce. I believe, like you do, that you should try everything before you get to that route. But if she is determined to follow this path, then that's just what it is. It's very sad. I hate it. Let me see what he said for the update. Some of you accept the reality I had been avoiding for a long time. My soon-to-be ex-wife was not going to get better, and I had to protect my daughter. I also specifically thank those who pointed me to QAnon casualty sub. Reading other families' stories and seeing how similar their patterns were very incredibly helpful. It helped me to understand that this wasn't something I could love or wait out of. Yes, that is true. I took the advice of the commenters and started documenting my ex neglect of our daughter, her racism and extreme beliefs, and reached out to a divorce lawyer. I checked our joint bank accounts as advised and discovered that she has been withdrawing large sums of money from a joint account we opened early in our marriage for family vacations, etc., that we had discussed using to eventually set up a college fund for our daughter when she was born. When I confronted her, she initially denied me taking the money. When I demanded she show me where the money went, she went on a long rant about creating a better world. What? No. She admitted that she donated the money to organizations like TP USA, claiming that they would create better schools and keep the kids safe. She had also spent a significant amount on designer handbags, shoes, and clothing that she had hidden from me. The craziest thing is that she was also being scammed by some royal gossip subreddit who claimed to have hired a professional investigator to expose Meghan Markle. Apparently, this person would send her negative articles about Meghan and claim that the private investigator had discovered this information and sent it to the press, and my wife would send more money. She told me that all of this she told me all of this as if it were reasonable and nothing is wrong with it. That's what I'm saying. When people go down those rabbit holes, they get delusional. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. As a therapist, you put them on medication, you can try. You can't make somebody, an adult in America has rights. And so unless they are a direct harm to themselves or to somebody else, there's not a whole lot you can do. Even if you take it to the courts and try to get like them to make somebody go to the hospital, they will not. They have to be a danger in order for that to happen. I cannot tell you how many families I have that will call me about with something like this, and I'm like, there's nothing you can do. There isn't. They don't want to infringe on people's rights, so if there's not a direct threat, they're not going to do nothing. And you just kind of have to deal with it. There's not a whole lot you can do in these situations. It's very sad. But, that there's not a lot you can do. I know you wanted to try everything, but there's not a whole lot that you can do. She's an adult. If she wants to do these things, she can. She's not hurting anybody. And so nobody's going to step in and make her. If we were the America that we thinks that she thinks that we are, we would force her into hospital and force her to take medicine and force her to do all these things. We don't. It's against the law to do that. So you have to have a valid reason. I just had a conversation with somebody this morning. You have to have a valid reason, or it will not. It's not matter. It's really sad. I told her I was filing for divorce, and at first she thought I was joking, but then exploded at me and began throwing things while ranting about me breaking up the family. I left the house bleeding and went to my neighbors, who called the police. She showed up and they arrested her after I explained what happened. Only after they hurt somebody. And it's really unfortunate. I applied for and was granted a domestic violence restraining order along with temporary custody of my daughter. My wife currently has supervised visitation only. She is facing a misdemeanor criminal charge related to domestic battery, which is being handled in criminal court alongside the ongoing divorce proceedings. She is currently living with her former co-worker, and her family has reached out to express support for me and my daughter. I'm in the middle of divorce proceedings, and my lawyer believes I have a strong case for sole custody. This isn't how I ever imagined things ending, but I'm grateful I listened to the advice here when I did. My priority now is my daughter's safety, stability, and emotional well-being. Thank you to everyone who helped me, who pushed me to act. Yeah, it's always so hard. You love people and you want to give them a chance and you want them to be better. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. That is the hardest lesson that you learn in life. That sometimes there's nothing that you can do. Some people can read this stuff, they read it and they go back to their regular life. Some people read it and it consumes them. Which one you're going to be, you do not know until you read it and it happens to you. It is so sad. I wish you the best, sir. I'm sorry that this has happened to you because it's very unfortunate, but there wasn't a whole lot you could do. Your wife has crossed over to that, far right side. That's what she's going to do. There is nothing that you can say because she'll just say you've been brainwashed. And that she is, they've lifted the cover off her eyes and that she understands how things are now. It's so sad. It really is. I hate that she hates people of color now. I hate that that's the way that it is. I don't know why. A lot of them start to hate minority groups, which doesn't make any sense, But you have a duty to protect your daughter. And seeing her mom like this is not good for her. And I know that you did not want to leave her. I can imagine how hard that was. And I'm sorry that it had to end this way. But if you had stayed trying to wait till she worked it out, it would have continued to be bad and it would never got better. Never. It is quite unfortunate. And I'm very, very sorry. I don't know. If you have any questions or anything you would like to write below, you can leave it down below. Or you can send me any questions to my Gmail account, which is fullerjennifer@gmail.com. And I will update y'all next week on how my driving test goes. I am pretty confident that it will be fine. If they actually take me out this time, I know that I can perform. I can see. I don't see double or anything anymore, so we'll see how it goes. I am pretty confident, though. I am not nervous or anything like that. I just want to get it over with because I want to get back to my life. And I am tired of having to get rides and stuff from people. I don't like that. I am very independent, so this has been very difficult for me. Probably the most difficult part of all of this has been not being able to take care of myself. I don't like that. It really bothers me. That's the hardest part about this whole thing. I could have had the stroke and as long as I could still take care of myself, I would have been fine. The hardest part has been having to depend on other people. And it's not that I don't have people to depend on, because I do. I just don't want to have to depend on them. I want to do it myself. And it's the same thing with driving. I have people that would do stuff for me. I just don't want to ask them. I would rather do it myself. because I don't ever want to feel like I'm bothering somebody, you know. So I will update y'all next week, because by the time I make next week's video, I will have taken my driving test, so I will know. I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.